Hello there, Megan. I wanted to talk to you about the family vacation we're planning. I found an absolutely incredible resort that we have to go to. It's in the middle of the woods and close to a lovely river. There are so many places to play and explore. It'll be perfect for our summer vacation. Wow, that does sound nice. Thanks for looking for a good spot for me, Glenda. What? For you? Don't be ridiculous. I didn't find it for you. It was for my granddaughter. Excuse me? You're absolutely nothing to me, but Erica has Kurt's blood in her veins. That makes her family. One has to take care of their family, you know. I'm nothing to you, eh? I guess I should be used to this by now. You always talk to me like this. Is there anything I could possibly do to get you to accept me as a member of your family? It's not a matter of me accepting you or not. You simply aren't family. Families are bound together by one thing and one thing only: blood. Really? How cruel can you be, Megan? What? Cruel? Have I said anything cruel to you? Don't play dumb. You just told me that I was an awful grandmother. Huh? No, I didn't. What are you talking about? You might not have said it, but you were thinking it. I could tell from the way you said, "You always talk to me like this." It was so filled with spite, I felt a chill run down my spine. Ugh, this is why I try to limit my interactions with non-family as much as possible. You're not making sense. To you, maybe, but my family understands. When we go on our trip, you can drop Kurt and Erica off at the resort, then go right back home. You wouldn't want to spend a week with me in a secluded resort anyway, would you? Oh, Megan, I really wish things could be different between us, but I can see that you're simply determined to hate me. It's only natural, I suppose. Women never get along with their mother-in-laws. It's jealousy, honestly. You can't handle the fact that Kurt pays any women other than yourself attention, so you lash out at me. And without a husband of my own to defend me, I'm left completely alone to deal with your cruelty. You're taking this way too far, Glenda. Anyway, I'll tell Kurt about the resort. And she said she'll handle the reservations and everything, so I figured it's fine. We'll go to the place she wanted.
That's probably for the best. You picked the location last year and she did nothing but complain the whole time. She'll have no room to complain if she picks the place herself.
I did check out the resort and it actually seems like it's really nice. Incredible, honestly. It's in an absolutely gorgeous wooded area. I have to hand it to her mom. She's got incredibly good taste in vacation destinations.
Yeah, she's always loved taking trips, so she knows a ton of sites to find good deals on nice hotels and stuff. It's just too bad about, every single other aspect of her personality.
Your mom has some really strong feelings about family, huh?
You can say that again. I mean, it's not exactly a bad thing to be devoted to one's own family, but she kinda does it to an obsessive degree.
Do you think it might have something to do with her parents getting divorced?
I'm positive that has something to do with it. I remember her telling me that her parents had a pretty nasty divorce when she was young, and then she had a nasty divorce of her own. There's a lot of stuff about her personality that I have to force myself to overlook because she's Erica's grandmother and all. But if it were just me, I wouldn't want to spend much time with her. It's not that I'm afraid she'll do something crazy or anything, but man, there's just something discomforting about her obsession with family.
And you're the only other family member in her life right now. It must have been hard dealing with her for all these years.
Oh, you don't even know half of it. Anytime anything happens even slightly different from her ideal mental picture, she starts up the waterworks. I'm grateful for her working so hard to raise me as a single mom, but all of her emotional blackmail is too much. Seriously, I don't even want to know what she'd do if I ever tried to go against her on something she thought was important.
She's always been pretty cold and harsh to me, but when you consider her obsession with family, it makes sense. I married into her family after all. But if you, her only child, ever tried to oppose her, good grief, there's no telling what she'd do.
It would be a total nightmare situation, that's for sure. Anyway, it won't do us any good to sit here complaining about my mom's peculiarities. Let's just focus on making this summer vacation as fun as possible for Erica.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the most important thing. Besides, if she ever does something really crazy, then I could just cut off the financial support we're giving her. Like, you want to be crazy? Okay, fine. You can pay for your own rent, utilities, food, etc. I know you have a hard time being frank with her, but I have no such reservations.
You got that right. That whole hell have no fury thing could have been written about you. You're a powerful ally, but you'd be an absolutely terrifying enemy.
And don't you ever forget that. But yeah, I always knew, from even before our wedding, that me marrying you meant that somewhere down the road, I would have a showdown with your mom. And I'm always prepared to have it when the time comes.
How did I manage to land such a strong, kind, and beautiful woman for a wife?
Glenda, I'd like an explanation for this if you have one. An explanation? For what, Megan? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't play dumb. Why didn't you include me when you made the reservation? The receptionist at the front desk looked confused when we tried to check in. He said the reservation said it was a party of 3, 1 senior citizen woman, 1 adult male, and 1 child. I'm not sure what you need to have explained for you. It all seems quite straightforward to me. I made a reservation for myself, Kurt, and Erica. Really, what are you so confused about? I told you this was a family vacation, didn't I? And you aren't family. I've been very clear on that fact, so I don't know why you thought you would be able to impose yourself on our family vacation. This is inexcusable, Glenda. I'm Erica's mother. How can you deny me the ability to be there with my daughter? She's got 1 parent with her, doesn't she? Kurt and I are more than enough for her. Now, if I've made myself clear, could you please be on your way? Poor little Erica is exhausted from the car ride here, and she needs to get some rest. This is going to be such a wonderful family vacation, and the best part, no clingy tag-alongs will be here to get in our way. That does it. I've had all that I can take from you, Glenda. Excuse me, don't even think about trying to play the victim card against me. I've tried, Megan. Really, I have. I've been as kind and gentle with you as anyone could ever be, but you just don't get it. I guess I have no choice but to be direct then. You are not family. You have no business coming with us on this family vacation, and you will not be staying at the resort with us. Go and pitch a tent somewhere in the woods for all I care, but you're not staying here. Not family, huh? Okay, fine. Then you could kiss your financial support goodbye. What? You know, the money we send you each month to help you pay your bills. All of that money comes out of my paycheck. But since you say I'm not your family, I guess I have no reason to be sending my hard-earned money to some random old woman. So I won't be sending you a single cent ever again. Hold it right there. You mean to tell me that all the money that I've been receiving up until now, That was your money? That's right. I was the one sending you that money. I don't believe this. Believe it or not, it's happening, and you have no one to blame but yourself. If you need money, you can get yourself a job. How could you do such a filthy, disgusting, nauseating, putrid thing to me? I feel like I'm going to be sick. Yeah, I'll bet this comes as a shock to you. I can't believe you're treating me as some sort of charity case when you're not even family. This is the absolute worst day of my life. You're telling me that all the money I've been using to buy my groceries came from your filthy, unclean hands? I'll have to throw out everything in my refrigerator the second I get home. You've always been a terrible, lowly woman, Megan, but this is quite possibly the cruelest thing you've ever done to me. Hold on, I figured you'd be upset. I thought you'd be more upset that I was cutting you off, not that I was sending you money in the first place. I've never been so humiliated in my entire life. You did this deliberately, didn't you? You knew how much I despised you, and yet you sent me that money anyway. And worse, you lied to me and told me it was from Kurt. Oh my god, I bought these clothes with your money too. I'll have to burn these vile rags. Whoa, Glenda, I think you need to take a second to calm down. Calm down? How can I calm down now that I know that my entire house is littered in things I bought with your money? Look, I think I've excited you enough for one day, so just know that we're leaving right now. I'll pay the cancellation fees for Kurt and Erica, so you can go ahead and spend the week here by yourself. I think you could use some personal time to settle down. Just don't go setting any fires in the resort or in the forest, okay? Glenda, I will only tell you this once. Bring Erica back to our house this very instant. I just went to Erica's daycare to pick her up, but imagine my surprise when she wasn't there. Not only that, her teacher told me that her grandmother had picked her up already. And for the evil, manipulative cherry on top, you even called her daycare pretending to be me in order to give yourself permission? All I've done is what any good grandmother would do to protect her granddaughter. What you've done is called kidnapping. Tell me where you are right now. In the meantime, I'm heading over to your house right now. Don't you dare do anything to Erica. You'll have to pry her from my cold, dead fingers. I would never allow such a deceitful, evil woman as you to be in charge of my granddaughter. What are you talking about? You've been giving me your disgusting, filthy money for years, all the while pretending that it was actually Kurt's money instead of your own. It's clear to me that you lack the sort of moral fiber needed to raise a child properly. As such, from this day forward, I will be raising Erica in your place. Not to worry, Megan. I'll take proper care of her and make sure that she doesn't become a sadistic, twisted, devious little wretch like you. You've crossed the line, Glenda. I won't let you get away with this. I demand that you return my daughter to me.
Megan, I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you. I just got out of a meeting and the secretary told me you needed to talk to me and it was urgent. What's going on?
Oh, thank God, Kurt. You won't believe this. Your mother has kidnapped our Erica.
What? Kidnapped? What in the world?
She called Erica's daycare and pretended to be me and told them Erica's grandmother was going to pick her up early. I'm at your mom's house right now. I can hear Erica's voice calling for me, but no matter how many times I ring the doorbell, your mom won't open. Not only that, she's telling me that she's going to call the police on me.
Okay, I understand the situation. I'm gonna talk to my boss, tell him I have a family emergency, and take the rest of the afternoon off. For the time being, I want you to head over to my lawyer's office. You remember the place, right?
What? Yeah, I do remember, but why your lawyer's office?
I'm gonna put an end to my mom's interference in our lives once and for all. I've been talking to my lawyer about it for a while, and I think we've come up with a foolproof plan to make sure she never bothers us again.
But what about Erica?
You can leave her to me, don't worry. Erica's family, remember? My mom's not gonna do anything to harm her. You, however, are practically not even human to her. If you stay there any longer, there's no telling what my mom would be willing to do to you, so I want you to get away from that house as quickly as possible, okay?
No way! I can't leave our daughter alone with that psycho woman. I'm not leaving until I know for sure that Erica is safe.
Megan, please, I'm begging you to trust me. I'm just as worried about Erica as you are, but knowing what I do about my mom, the longer you stay there, the more dangerous it's going to get for both Erica and you. You know I would never do anything to put Erica or you in harm's way, so please just trust me and head over to my lawyer's office. He'll explain everything once you get there.
All right, Kurt, I trust you. I'll go to your lawyer's office right away. I'm sorry for getting angry at you. You're right. You're just as afraid for Erica as I am. I should have trusted you more.
You don't need to apologize for anything, Megan. You didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, I should be apologizing to you for letting things with my mom get this out of hand. I should have made my move sooner. I won't let any harm come to Erica, believe me. Just give me a little bit of time and I'll have everything worked out. Mom, I just heard from Megan that you took Erica to your house. You do realize how serious what you've done is, don't you?
Ah, Kurt, wonderful timing. That awful woman finally drove away just a few moments ago. She was standing at my front door, shouting at the top of her lungs and ringing the doorbell for what felt like forever. I was so terrified, I was just about to call the police and have her arrested. What is wrong with that woman? Is she there with you? Are you safe? If she was willing to try and kidnap my granddaughter, who's to say what she'd try and do to you? Don't worry, Kurt. You don't have to be afraid of her anymore. You can move back in with me. We'll be a family again, just the three of us. I'll protect you from her.
Actually, Mom, I was just about to come home to see you right now. Once I get there, though, I'd like you to come to my lawyer's office with me.
What? Your lawyer? Whatever for, dear?
Well, let's just say it's something that involves Megan, me, and you. Megan's gonna be there, and I really need you to be there with me. It's something that I can't do without you.
You mean... Oh, Kurt, are you really going to divorce her? Oh, thank heavens. I've been waiting for years for this day to come. We'll finally be rid of that awful harpy.
Yeah, we definitely will be rid of an awful harpy.
Where is this lawyer's office, dear?
I'll tell you what, Mom, it's a special occasion, so I'll come by and pick you up personally. Oh, and I'd also like Erica to come with us, so bring her out to the car with you.
Ah, right you are. I'm sure poor little Erica would love to see the moment she's finally freed from that awful woman's clutches. You vile, pernicious shrew! You manipulative, deceptive, impertinent succubus! You tricked my Kurt! You turned him against me! I did no such thing! Everything that Kurt did today was of his own free will! Now, let me remind you of the promises you made to us today. You will never approach Erica without our express permission ever again. You will never interfere in our marriage again. And you will never come within 50 yards of our home ever again. You signed a contract with those terms, and it is legally binding, so never contact me again. And the same goes for Kurt. He wants you out of his life completely. Lies. Awful lies. Kurt would never say such a thing. You made him do this. My boy is so kind and gentle and loving. The only possible explanation for all this is that he's too afraid to stand up to you. You're delusional if you really think that. In any case, we read the contract to you. You said that you understand and accept the terms. You signed the contract, it was notarized, and now you're legally prohibited from intruding into our lives. And Kurt signed them too, so that includes him. I won't stand for this. I will find some way to overturn that silly little agreement. Wake up, Glenda! Don't you realize how much your constant meddling in our affairs has hurt Kurt? You have this thing about blood relatives. I get that. But if that's the case, then why in the world won't you listen to what Kurt is telling you? All you're doing is making one excuse after another to manipulate your last remaining family members into doing your bidding. I won't allow you to hurt my husband or daughter any more than you already have. Shut up, you impudent little brat. You're the one who's hurting them, not me. Don't think you've heard the last of me. I'll find a way to undo your brainwashing if it's the last thing I do. Glenda, you signed a legally binding agreement with real consequences for breaking it. If you have any sense in you, then you'll simply give up and live out the rest of your life quietly. You think I care at all about that thing you forced me to sign? I sure hope you do. Well, I don't. All that is some scrap paper. I ripped up my own copy the second I left that office. I'm Erica's grandmother and Kurt's mother. I have a God-given right to have them in my life. Not anymore, you don't. You really are a vicious, putrid, slimy fiend, Megan. You've ripped my only son and granddaughter away from me. I'll make you pay for this. If you violate the agreement, you're the one who's going to pay. We went out of our way to include a clause saying that we will allow you to see Erica occasionally if you adhere to the other terms. But for now, we need to put some distance in between us. Darling, I was wondering when you would send me my money for this month. I'm a bit short on cash at the moment. Oh, and make sure the money you send me comes from your paycheck, not that woman's. You're free to do whatever you want with your money, aren't you? That's not interfering in your marriage. I'm still keeping the terms of that stupid agreement.
We discussed this yesterday, Mom. I'm sending you a flat amount of money each month and it's not going to change. Now don't ever ask me about money again. This conversation is over.
How can you be so cold to your own mother? After all the trouble I went through to raise you by myself, now you're willing to go crawl in a hole somewhere and die. Is that it?
I said no such thing. All I'm saying is that you need to understand that I'm not a child anymore, and I won't have you interfering in my life. Why do you always have to make a big deal out of things like that? I want to live my own life, Mom. That's all I've ever wanted. Is that so hard for you to accept?
Your own life? That's not what you're doing. You're walking away from your responsibilities. What did I do to deserve to have all the men in my life betray me? Your father was a terrible man who abandoned me, and now you've turned out just like him.
I'm not abandoning you. Stop blowing things out of proportion. You know that I care about you. But I have a wife and daughter right now. My number one priority is to see to it that their needs are met. Don't you see? I'm your son, but that's not all I am. I'm a father, husband, and breadwinner.
You call yourself a father? Don't be ridiculous. What makes you think you can be a father? No man who would turn his back on his own mother could ever become a good parent. Have you no shame? Have you no filial piety? You've spent far too much around that woman. She's corrupted you. You're now just as lowly and vile as she is. I didn't raise you to turn your back on your family. Her influence is what did that to you.
Mom, please, I'm begging you, let it go! Let me go!
I won't let you go until I fix the damage that she did to you. You've been brainwashed. You might not care about family, but I still do. I'm your mother. You're my son, and it is my sacred duty to protect you. Kurt, are you okay? You looked really upset when you left for work this morning.
I can't take this anymore.
What's wrong?
It's my mom. She's been messaging me hundreds of times every single day. I keep telling myself that I can ignore them, that I shouldn't bother myself with reading them, but I just can't help it. I'm sorry, Megan. I don't know what to do with her. It's not that I want to abandon her entirely. I just want her to give us some space. Every day I tell myself that I should just block her number and move on, but I can't. I know that I'll only make myself feel worse if I read her messages, but I can't help myself. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Oh, Kurt, I'm so sorry for what you're going through, but it's not your fault. You don't need to beat yourself up like this.
Then what am I supposed to do, huh? Do you have any idea how hard it is to deal with an overbearing parent?
Kurt, please don't get angry at me.
I'm sorry, Megan. God, what's wrong with me? This isn't your fault. I shouldn't be angry at you. Maybe my mom was right about me. Maybe I'm just walking away from my responsibilities. Maybe I am a terrible man, just like my father. I can't take care of my mom, and now here I am blowing up at my own wife because of my failures.
Listen to me, Kurt. You are not like your father. You are a good, responsible, reliable man doing the best you can for your family.
Am I really?
Yes, Kurt. Believe me, you are. We've been together for how many years now? I've seen how much you care about me, about Erica, and yes, even about your mom. I love you, and there's not a thing that could change that. Erica, too. You know how much of a daddy's girl she is. She's worried about you, you know? She can tell something is bothering you. Earlier this morning, she said she wanted to go to Daddy's work. When I asked her why, she said it was because Daddy needs a big hug.
Oh, man. Even Erica's worried about me. I'm so sorry. I'll bet she's still broken up about the summer vacation thing. She was really looking forward to it.
Hey, Kurt, I've been thinking about something for a while. I can't shake the feeling that your devotion to your family comes from essentially the same place as your mom's. But you channel your devotion in a positive way, while she just obsesses over being in control of everything. That means that there's something, some sort of trigger that resulted in your mom becoming the way she is.
Like what? You mean her divorce or her parents' divorce or both?
No, I think it must be something else. I mean, divorces are more common than ever, but people like your mom are still thankfully few and far between. So if we could find out what that something else is, then maybe we could get through to her.
I think I follow you, but what are we gonna do about it? How are we gonna find what that something else is?
I don't know, but I think we owe it to ourselves, Erica, and your mom to do what we can to find out. You thought you were gonna lock me up, did you? Well, you've got another thing coming. I won't let you throw me into the loony bin. Now let me speak to Kurt. Glenda, where in the world are you? We got a call from the hospital saying you had disappeared from your room. The whole building is on lockdown looking for you. You need to come out of hiding right now. Not a chance. If I do that, then your thugs will lock me up for sure. They're not going to lock you up, Glenda. They're going to help you. I don't need whatever help those thugs want to give me. I want out of here. I want to go home. You can't go home. This is an involuntary commitment. You can't do this to me. Yes, Glenda, we can. You might not realize it, but you're sick and you need help. You've needed help for some time, but you've never gotten it, which is why things have gotten this bad. I don't need any help, especially not from you. I'm fine. I'm not crazy. Glenda, you've been hospitalized in a psychiatric clinic before, haven't you? What? We found your family, Glenda. Your parents passed away quite some time ago, but your younger sister is still alive and well. She told us the truth about you and your early life. Your parents never divorced. They stayed together and loved each other to the very end. You, however, were nothing but trouble starting in your teenage years, which, in retrospect, could probably be chalked up to your undiagnosed mental illness. You refused to believe that you were the problem, so you conveniently altered your memories to justify your behavior. In your mind, you didn't alienate your family. They alienated you. You weren't the one fighting with your parents. They were fighting with each other. It's all in your head, though. None of that is true. Nonsense. You're trying to confuse me. I know my parents got divorced. Don't you get it? I went to your childhood home. Your sister still lives there. I know everything, Glenda. All of your bizarre behavior is the result of your mental illness. Your obsession with family, the way you treat me as an outsider, the time when you actually kidnapped Erica, your mental illness explains everything. Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not sick. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to any hospital. I just told you. You don't have a say in the matter. You're being involuntarily committed. We went through the entire legal process, and the judge gave the order just yesterday. So please, Glenda, please just give up. Please let us get you the help you need. Never. I'll find some way to escape, I swear. No, Glenda, I don't think you will. Oh, and what makes you say that? Because while I've been talking to you by text like this, you haven't been moving, have you? And at the same time, the hospital security staff has been frantically looking through security camera footage to track your movements. The security staff know where you are, and they're going to come and get you soon. So please, Glenda, don't put up a fight. It's only going to make things worse for you. They're not going to hurt you. They just want to help you. I don't need your help. I'm fine. People who are fine don't invent false memories from their childhood, and they certainly don't kidnap their own grandchildren. You need to accept reality, Glenda. If you don't, then you're going to end up losing the family that you claim to hold so dear. Please, I'm begging you, get the help that you desperately need. Hey, Kurt, is everything okay with your mom? You told me earlier that the hospital asked you to come and speak with them today.
Yeah, I just got done talking with them. They're saying that she's being moved into the closed psych ward.
Oh no, what happened?
I guess she's been making escape attempts every single day for the past week, and each time's more desperate than the last. Yesterday was the worst yet. I guess she actually ended up hurting one of the security guards. So it's for the best for my mom's own safety as well as the other patients and staff that she be isolated, at least for the time being. And in order to do that, they needed consent from her next of kin, meaning me. I feel so guilty. I should have noticed that something was off way sooner. Then I could have gotten her the help she needed before things got out of hand. What kind of son am I? I'm the only family she has left in this world, and I still couldn't do anything to protect her.
No, Kurt. I feel like this was the inevitable outcome.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because it's like you said, you're the only family she has. There's no one closer to her than you. And if you still couldn't tell that she was ill, despite all the time you've spent with her, then there's simply no way you could have known. Plus, her behavior up until now wasn't really crazy, was it? Frankly, she was just like any other overbearing mother out there.
But how can you say that so definitively?
Wait a second, didn't I tell you what I did before we got married? I was a nurse in a psychiatric hospital myself.
Wait, really? You never told me that.
Well, I was always planning to quit once we got married, so I guess I never had the opportunity to talk about it. But yeah, back when I worked there, I would see a lot of family members coming in who were in your exact same position. No one ever wants to believe that their family members are undiagnosed. Even if it becomes obvious they can't make decisions for themselves anymore, it's still really difficult to have them committed. Sure, just like any other disease, it's for the best if you can catch it as early as possible, but this is the real world we're living in. It's impossible to figure these sort of things out early enough to make a difference, so you don't need to beat yourself up like this. All that you can do is make the best decisions you can in the present based on what your mom needs the most. And that's exactly what you did. You don't need to feel bad about anything. If anything, you should be proud of yourself for doing the right thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Thanks, Megan.
You're a good son, a good man, a good husband, and a good father, Kurt. Whenever you're feeling down, you can always lean on me. I'll be there for you.
Hey, Megan, I just went and saw my mom, and you wouldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. She was doing better than I've ever seen her before. She was perfectly calm and just, normal. We had a nice conversation even.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm so happy for you, Kurt. To be perfectly honest, when the clinic called and said that they thought she could be moved to the regular ward, I had my doubts.
Yeah, me too. I was sure that the second I walked in the door, she'd start shouting at me like, "How dare you lock me up in here?" But no, she said that she's perfectly happy there and feeling better than she has in years. It felt really great to see her doing so well. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Man, I don't even remember the last time that me and my mom just sat down and talked like a normal mother and son. I'm so grateful to all the staff at that clinic. They're all incredible people. Maybe this means that we'll be able to become a normal family?
It'll take time, I'm sure, but if you don't give up and keep on doing what you're doing, then there's a good chance we can. It worked for me anyway.
Huh? What do you mean?
There's another thing I haven't told you about my past. My father was physically abusive. So, once I turned 18, I left home and swore that I'd never speak to him again. But I could never put him totally out of my mind. I was angry at him for how he treated me, furious even. but he was still my father. When I reached out to him a while back, he apologized to me and told me that he was a changed man. I still go to see him about once a month now, and we're getting along really well.
Wow. I had no idea about that. I mean, I knew that your parents had divorced, but I never knew the reason for it.
And that's a big reason why I wanted to do everything I could to support you in dealing with your mom. You know, with family, it's not like you're supposed to be there right next to each other all the time. I'd say one of the best things about family is the fact that even when there's distance in between you, the love and respect you have for each other never fades away. I have faith that you and your mom are going to find some way to have a healthy relationship, and I'll be there all the way to support you however I can.
Thank you, Megan. Really, I can't thank you enough, and also I'm really, really sorry.
Sorry for what?
You know, during the whole summer vacation debacle when I got angry at you and told you how you couldn't possibly understand how I feel, I had no idea about your past when I said that. It must have really hurt you.
I don't resent you at all for that, Kurt. I never told you about it. How could you possibly have known? And you kind of did have a point. My problem with my dad wasn't excessive, obsessive love. It was the exact opposite. So I honestly didn't really know how you felt.
You know, every single day I wake up and find a new reason to be glad I have a woman like you for a wife.
I feel the same way about you, Kurt.
And I get what you said about family still being family, even if we're far apart. But I don't want you or Erica to ever get too far away from me, okay?
Okay, don't worry, I won't leave you. But try not to be too overprotective when Erica brings her first boyfriend by the house, okay? Glenda's condition continued to improve, and so she was moved out of the psychiatric hospital into an ordinary assisted living facility. Even though it was because of her illness, I'm still kind of uneasy about getting close to her again. But no matter what differences she and I may have, she's still Erica's grandmother, and I can't keep her away from Erica forever. For now, Kurt and Erica are going to visit her once a month without me. I think that's for the best. I do, however, hope that Glenda is able to live out her days in peace and comfort. I can tell that his mom's improvement has been an incredible relief for Kurt. You can see it in the way he carries himself. It's like a massive weight's been lifted off of his shoulders. I have no doubt that we'll face new family problems as our lives go on and Erica gets older. But I'm equally sure that as long as Kurt, Erica, and I stick together, then there's nothing that we can't overcome.